Hey everybody, Super Squee here of the Emotionally Unstable Gamer channel on YouTube, and this will actually be the final video of year 2. And I'm in year 3 now, which is wild to me. So once we get to a certain point, we'll just be playing catch up as I do new things. But this is gonna be a good one. I looked over and realized this section of what's gonna be in this video is some good shit in my opinion. So let's do this. So, I made one of these for Legion, so I'm making one for Battle for Azeroth. Honestly, I feel like this time around getting Pathfinder to unlock flying was way easier. Yeah, it took time, and it can be grindy by nature, but it felt more like getting rewarded for things I was gonna do anyway. I got to see the cute little crab rave and Nazjatar, which I was upset I couldn't get to without flying. Battle for Azeroth is rough around the edges, but I'm excited for whatever comes next. So I got this originally when I didn't even know what was going on with like Shadowlands, so I'm very excited for Shadowlands. I thought what was in Battle for Azeroth was enjoyable. I do like leveling up alts and stuff, and I still plan to go back to Lore Master when I decide to turn my account back on. But I'm excited for something new. I definitely enjoyed Legion more than I enjoyed Battle for Azeroth, but I thought there was a lot of cool shit that went on in Battle for Azeroth, and I'm hoping that Blizzard can like clean up its act. I mean, as long as they keep producing an enjoyable game, I've played World of Warcraft for this long, I'm going to keep playing it, but I would like something like new in such a way and like enjoyable that doesn't make me want to just come back because it looks cool for a couple months and makes me actually want to play. So, but it's alright. Battle for Azeroth is alright. World of Warcraft as a whole is fun. So, cried the first time I saw this movie, just absolutely lost my shit weeping. The second time around happened again, but the whole dysfunctional son and father thing really hit home with all the ups and downs I've had with my dad. And as always, the music is just incredible. Even without the MCU, both Guardians of the Galaxy movies are amazing, and I can only hope the third will be just as awesome. So I am very much looking forward to the third movie, looking forward to what music is on that Zune that Yondu gave fucking Star-Lord Peter. So good shit. I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 were some of my favorite Marvel movies just by themselves. And I like that they're mostly in their own little continuity. Like, they could have just not... I mean, I'm glad that they were in Infinity War and in fucking Endgame because, you know, especially if nothing else, like, Gamora has an attachment to Thanos because of her, not attachment, but, my brain, like, proxy association. And they do in general because they had the fucking one of the Infinity Stones at one point, but could have been its own standalone thing and never touched any of the other Marvel shit, and they're good movies. Look, I stand by what I've said to others. Zim is okay. It's really overrated to me, and not even close to Joni and Vasquez's best creation. It's better, in my opinion, to look up a list of episodes or ask friends what really good ones to watch, because there are episodes that stand above the rest that are absolutely amazing. But as a whole, Invader Zim is not a series worth watching all the way through. Tidbit before I go back to this. I also just feel like the series doesn't have like a continuity necessarily, like it does and it doesn't. There's not like an overarching story that's going on in the background. Like, you can watch episodes out of order and it doesn't matter. There's not like a timeline necessarily. There probably is like episodes here and there that are like past other episodes, but so like I feel like it's still valid for me to say like, hey, there are good episodes and there's a lot of it that's just so like go ask someone that like likes them a lot and they'll tell you what good episodes there are like that they enjoy the most. I love Gur and Gaz, and those are the only things I literally love about the series. It was always hit or miss for me. Those things said, this movie is a great final piece to the animated Zim world and masterfully animated. I also felt like they dumbed down the grosser aspects of Zim that I never found funny, so that was cool. And every character shines in this, even characters that were neglected or relegated to hardcore background roles before. I laughed a lot watching this, and it had genuinely incredible, like, holy shit, that was cool moments. I love revisiting this game every now and then, to just see how many things survived to current Warcraft lore. But though revolutionary for its time, and I'm sure some people's favorite, I just can't enjoy this first title without cheating. Don't get me wrong, I can respect and find interest in the things I don't enjoy about this game. The micromanagement is super cool, and it's a great way to get used to using hotkeys for buildings and selecting units, considering that's how you have to do it in this game. But it feels clunky and slow, even on the fastest setting. Personally, I don't think this game is super difficult. It just has a learning curve that doesn't help its time sink nature. I know this could be said about almost any RTS game, but newer, more fleshed out RTS games usually have more going on to feel like a juicier meal. I just don't have time to play it legitimately. I am extremely grateful for the legacy it created. Though. Every time I rewatch this one, I always just think, you guys did a good job. Very good job. Good job. Thanks. So I think it's hilarious, like, how long this, like, languished in, like, development hell, basically, like, said to not be made, and then we actually got this and a sequel, and as far as I know, we're supposed to get a third one, too, which is absolutely wild to me. And, like, I'm happy it got created. I feel like it was better than what we could have expected. It was exactly what it needed to be, like, for a movie. And, like, I don't like some of the dialogue, like, some of the things that have caught on as catchphrases. I don't like that it attracts, like, the same, like, type of fan that can be extra annoying. The same way that, like, personally, I like Rick and Morty, but I do not like some of the fans that get attracted to it, because there's just some shit that ain't funny that gets marketed towards those specific people because they know they're going to buy their dumb shit. But I enjoy Deadpool. Just in general, I find Deadpool very fun, and I think this movie is a pretty good representation of Deadpool. Quote, I will not say, do not weep, for not all tears are evil, unquote. So it took me a really long time to finally finish this series, because for the longest time, back in the day, I owned, like, special edition, collector's edition DVD box sets that I was given at one point that were just the first two movies, and I really enjoyed them, but I never got to, like, finish and watch The Return of the King. This movie is awesome. Like, there's all kinds of shit in this movie that is just so fucking awesome. Like, I like Lord of the Rings a lot. I want to read the books. I have not read any of the books. I feel like I talk about that a lot. There's a lot of times I say, I want to read this book and that book and that book. I used to read a lot. I think it's just now I work, and, like, watching something is just a lot easier to digest, like, quickly and go through than to read. But I do still read, just not all the time. And I need to collect more books to just, like, sit down and have reading time. I would love that. And I always seem to go through phases where it's like, I will read, like, 8 books, and then I won't read again for, like, 2 or 3 years. And it's terrible, but, like, that's how I go through shit. And it's really weird because I read a lot in general, like, surfing the net and shit. I read a lot of, like, short stories and all kinds of stuff like that. So it's just like, eh. This game, man. I spent the first 12 hours of this game in Chapter 4 of 13, just doing side quests and playing minigames. This game has a lot, like a metric shitload to do in it, and mostly you don't have to do any of it. The main story, realistically, I feel maybe takes 8 hours, and I found it to be super engaging and awesome. I felt emotionally invested in the characters and their lives and wanting to know more. Good for me, there are 6 more of these I haven't played. I'd recommend this one for anyone who likes brawler-style games with tons of exploration and side shit to do. I wouldn't call it open world, but it has a really nice self-contained town that you'll get real familiar with real fast. I wanted to complete this I wanted to complete this whole game. I really did. But when I went back and looked at how much I'd done and how much was left to do, I had to stop myself because I'm ready for something else. One day, my sweet, sweet Kiryu, I'll return for you. I'd honestly place this in my top 3 games of all time, and I only had 2 before I played this. I just feel like I can't say a ton about this game without feeling like I'll steal the childlike wonder it can instill on you when you first get to run all over town. Very, very good movie. I mean, very, very good shit. Good shit. I feel like this movie has a lot of problems, and some of them can definitely be attributed to its time, but I really enjoyed it. I love the music, and I enjoyed seeing all these now big-name actors being little baby-face babies. This is just another on the long list of movies I'd like to read the book of. I may need to actually start writing that list down. If I had one thing that just took me out of the experience, I'd say it was the horribly choreographed rumble scene. At one point, a punch lands, and it just silence. Otherwise, though, great scenery and themes. This was my friend Corey's choice for a movie. It's really enjoyable. You probably recognize, like, all the people in this picture, but they all look like babies compared to what you may remember. We're going to start with things I didn't like. This is a review of the single-player campaign only. Some levels just feel like a bunch of giant hands drop handfuls of enemies all over the place, which I came to realize very rarely do you even have to fight them. Most of the weapons just feel like garbage. The grenade indicator is wonky as hell. Sometimes it pops up when things are like 30 feet from you, and others it's right on top of you. It's super inconsistent and can make you run around like an idiot only to run into the grenade. NPCs will legit bitch at you endlessly to do the objective which you are actively doing as they bitch at you. No matter what difficulty you are on, I know because I compared. The enemies are just damage sponges, and it sucks. Okay, now shit I loved. Badass set pieces with locales, badass set pieces and locales visually. Looks pretty, even being as old as it is. Isn't groundbreaking, but I was never like, ew, gross at the graphics. Great music. The smaller detail-oriented missions were all awesome. It was a really short game. I even got about halfway through it, then restarted on Veteran, and it still only took me 7 hours. Honestly, I really needed a short game, so that was awesome. The late game really ramps up, and the payoff was pretty cool. Now general stuff. I really wish I'd played through and beaten the first game, which I'll go back and do sometime now because it is super apparent they set this series up to be a trilogy from the beginning, and I feel like I'm missing some pieces. I mean, yeah, it's a COD game, so it's mostly just military blah blah and cool explosions, but it'd still be nice to see how this game evolved from its predecessor. So this was also Corey's choice for a game. Oh, sorry, stretching and trying to crack my back again. But good stuff. I did have fun with this one. This was my friend Danny's movie choice. I remember being bored off my ass the first time I saw this. Don't get me wrong, I feel like this movie definitely has some meh moments, but I had a blast rewatching this, and it was much, much funnier than I recalled. Mel Brooks is hilarious. He's goofy, dumb shit. I feel like a lot of the jokes are like ahead of their time in ways, just because it's like, I feel like they're funnier now where we are culturally than they might have come off then, unless you were just like, I don't want to say like big brain, but unless you were just, you know, more forward thinking at the time, so like the joke landed in different ways. Or it might just be like the joke's landing in a different way now and I don't realize it. But it's fun shit. Now this right here. I got 8 more days. I already pre-ordered Eternal. I am so fucking hype for the sequel to this game. And I enjoyed this game so fucking much. And this is the final thing I did for last year's big list. You know, I didn't even realize what the date was. Tomorrow is the end of the second year I've been doing my list. I'm really pissed it took me so long to finish Doom 2016, but man, am I happy this is what ended this year's list on. The combat is super fluid and so much fun. The rune challenges, which I didn't even know about, adds a nice layer which both rewards you for the campaign and gives you a little something different to do, and all the upgrades feel so good. My only real gripe with this game is the hell levels, which are super cool, but I hate that they are basically big-ass horde mode levels. I get that it makes sense, I'm in hell, demons everywhere, but fuck, you guys could have found some other way to make it enjoyable. I love the amount of lore that gets put in explaining why enemies are what they are and how they work, and throwing tons of callbacks to shit from the old games. I genuinely am so fucking hyped for Doom Eternal. Just for the lore and my shotgun waifu, which now has a grappling hook attachment. Like, this game was so fucking incredible to play. Like, I played some of the original games and I watched, like, my dad play them when I was younger. But, like, I never really, like, got into Doom until this game. And it makes me more interested to play all the other ones. Like, now I'm older and I want to play all of them. And, like, I know their legacy. I've always known their legacy. And, like, you know, what they've done for the fucking gaming industry as a whole. But, like, ooh, I can't wait for Doom Eternal. I can't wait. It's going to be so fucking good. It's going to be so fucking amazing. Ugh. Anyways, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for meeting me here at the end of my big list, year 2. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, night, whenever the fuck you watch this. And I love you.